Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cha Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 26, King Puranjan goes to the forest to hunt and his queen becomes angry. Text number 15 onwards. Na tathay tarhi rochante griheshu grihe sampadaha yadi na syad grihe mata patni vapati devata vyangye rat iv pragya ko nama sit dinavat. King Puranjan said, I do not understand why my household paraphernalia does not attract me as before. I think that if there is neither a mother nor devoted wife at home, the home is like a chariot without wheels. Where is a fool who will sit down on such an unworkable chariot? The great politician Chanakya Pandit had said, Mata yasya grihe naste bharya cha priya vadini. Aranyam tena gantavyam yatharanyam tatha griham. If a person has neither a mother nor a pleasing wife at home, he should leave home and go to the forest, because for him there is no difference between the forest and home. The real mata or mother is devotional service to the Lord, and the real patni or devoted wife is a wife who helps her husband execute religious principles in devotional service. These two things are required for a happy home. So if he doesn't have mother or a pleasing wife at home, then he should leave home and go to the forest. Chanakya Pandit is pretty strict. Actually, a woman is supposed to be the energy of the man. Historically, in the background of every great man, there is either a mother or a wife. One's household life is very successful if he has both a good wife and mother. In such a case, everything about household affairs and all the paraphernalia in the house becomes very pleasing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had both a good mother and pleasing wife, and he was very happy at home. Nonetheless, for the benefit of the whole human race, he took sannyas and left both his mother and wife. In other words, it is essential that one have both a good mother and wife in order to become perfectly happy at home. Otherwise, home life has no meaning. Unless one is religiously guided by intelligence and renders devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his home can never become very pleasing to a saintly person. In other words, if a man has a good mother or a good wife, there is no need of his taking sannyas. That is, unless it is absolutely necessary, as it was for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So King Puranjan, in the previous verse, it was said that he was a little anxious and inquired, my dear beautiful women, are you and your mistress all very well happy like before or not? So King Puranjan had come back from the forest or from his sense gratification excursion, and he hadn't taken his intelligence, means he was not guided by the intelligence. But now he had come home, now he had taken bath, taken rest, and eaten, and now he's inquiring from his household women. So now he's saying, I don't understand why my household paraphernalia does not attract me as before. Because after one gets spiritual knowledge and some advancement in spiritual path, then he definitely develops detachment from material paraphernalia. So here, mother and wife, he talks about, and Prabhupada says, mother is the devotion service to the Lord, and wife, devoted wife, is a spiritual intelligence. So whether, and Prabhupada explains about Chanakya Pandit, a good wife and mother, if they are not there, so means good wife also means intelligence. If it is not spiritual intelligence, means it is material intelligence, but good intelligence. So that should be there if one wants to remain at home. Or mother means devotional service. Otherwise, you just, if both are not there, then what is the point? And then Prabhupada quotes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had both Sachimata and Vishnupriya, but he still left the house for benefit of the whole human race. But that was a different story. So the good wife is compared here to the good intelligence. And this is what Prabhupada had explained before also, that one should keep his wife happy if he wants to remain happy at household life. Means one, even if we just allegorically, if we take, then one has to have good intelligence if he wants to live happily. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem every time. Kva vartate salalana majjantam vesanarnave ya mam uddharate pragyam deepayanti pade pade. Kindly let me know the whereabouts of that beautiful woman who always saves me when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger. By giving me good intelligence at every step, she always saves me. So now Prabhupada says, opens the purport with a very nice line. There is no difference between a good wife and good intelligence. So all the Matajis should be happy. And Prabhujis, you should show this to your wives. One who possesses good intelligence can deliberate properly and save himself from many dangerous conditions. In the material existence, there is danger at every step. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Padam padam yatupi padam natesha. This material world is not actually a place of residence for an intelligent person or a devotee, because here there is danger at every step. Vaikuntha is a real home for the devotee, for there is no anxiety and no danger. Good intelligence means becoming Krishna conscious. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Krishna ye bhaje se bada chatur. Unless one is Krishna conscious, he cannot be called an intelligent person. So that is a real intelligence. So good wife and good intelligence, there is no difference. Means good wife will always give good counsel and protect her husband. Protect her husband in which way? If we remember from the story of Kardamuni and Mother Devahuti, there it was mentioned, a good wife, she protects the husband by keeping his senses in control. It's very, very important, especially for a person who wants to make spiritual progress. Senses are very difficult to be controlled. A good wife helps her husband in doing that. So good wife and good intelligence, there is no difference. Herein we see that King Puranjan was searching after his good wife because she was angry. And here the title of the chapter is Queen Becomes Angry, who always helped him out of the dangerous situations that always occur in material existence. As already explained, a real wife is Dharma Patni. That is, a woman accepted in marriage by ritualistic ceremony is called Dharma Patni, which signifies that she is accepted in terms of religious principles. Children born of Dharma Patni or a woman married according to religious principles inherit the property of the father. But the children born of a woman who is not properly married do not inherit the father's property. So even in legal terms, they're not uh, they're not then they don't have any rights on father's property. The word dharmapatni also refers to a chaste wife. A chaste wife is one who never had any connection with men before her marriage. Once a woman is given the freedom to mingle with all kinds of men in her youth, it is very difficult for her to keep chaste. She generally cannot remain chaste. When butter is brought into the proximity of fire, it melts. The woman is like fire and man is like the butter. But if one gets a chaste wife accepted through a religious marriage ritual, she can be of great help when one is threatened by the many dangerous situations of life. Actually, such a wife can become the source of all good intelligence. With such a good wife, the family's engagement in the devotional service of the Lord actually makes a home, a grihast ashram, or household dedicated to spiritual cultivation. So much uh, importance, responsibility of a good, chaste girl and who becomes a chaste wife later on. So nowhere it is said, nowhere, except that one statement by Prabhupada, which can be attributed to his English not being the first language, or his intention was something else, and he wrote something else about that rape sentence. Nowhere Prabhupada said one should or one can exploit one's wife or beat her up or take advantage of her or whatever nonsense that goes on in the name of Patni Dharma and Pati Dharma and this and that. Clearly said, Patni is a Dharma Patni because she is accepted properly, and then she gives good counsel to the husband and protects his senses. Very, very important. So for the spiritual cultivation. Rama Uchu Naranatna Jani Mastva Priya Yad Vyavastiti Bhutale Nirvastare Shayanam Pashya Shatruhan. All the women address the king, O master of the citizens. We do not know why your dear wife has taken on this sort of existence. O killer of enemies, kindly look. She is lying on the ground without bedding. We cannot understand why is she acting in this way. When a person is devoid of devotional service or Vishnu Bhakti, he takes to many sinful activities. King Puranjan left home, neglected his own wife, and engaged himself in killing animals. This is the position of all materialistic men. They do not care for a married, chaste wife. They take the wife only as an instrument for sense enjoyment, not as a means for devotional service. To have unrestricted sex life, the karmis work very hard. They've concluded that the best course is to have sex with any women and simply pay the price for her, as though she were a mercantile commodity. Thus, they engage their energy in working very hard for such material acquisitions. Such materialistic people have lost their good intelligence. They must search out their intelligence within the heart. A person who does not have a chaste wife, accepted by religious principles, also always have a bewildered intelligence. So again, so much of importance given on marriage institution and person having a chaste wife. But these days, what is happening? Karmis work very hard, make money. They don't want to be bound up in the marriage process, and they just want to pay women the money and have sex, and that's it. According to them, that is the relationship. That is the essence of relationship. But that's not what it is. And for women also, husband is not somewhere. I was reading a cartoon. So husband is not an ATM machine, anytime money machine. So that is why Pati is called Pati Parameshwar. So if they both treat each other with respect and love and take care of each other, then the same Grihastha ashram can be. And the same place, family life can be a Grihastha ashram. One can, both of them, and along with the children, they can make spiritual progress easily. Easily. The wife of King Puranjan was lying on the ground because she was neglected by her husband. Actually, the woman must always be protected by her husband. We always speak of the goddess of fortune as being placed on the chest of Narayan. In other words, a wife must remain embraced by her husband. Thus, she becomes beloved and well protected. Just as one saves his money and places under his own personal protection, one should similarly protect his wife by his own personal supervision. Just as intelligence is always within the heart, so a beloved chaste wife should always have her place on the chest of a good husband. This is the proper relationship between husband and wife. A wife is therefore called Ardhangini, or half the body. One cannot remain with only one leg, one hand, or only one side of the body. He must have two sides. Similarly, according to nature's way, husband and wife should live together. In the lower species of life among birds and animals, it is seen that by nature's arrangement, the husband and wife live together. It is similarly ideal in human life for the husband and wife to live together. The home should be a place for devotional service, and wife should be chaste and accepted by ritualistic ceremony. In this way, one can become happy at home. So nicely uh, presented by Srila Prabhupada. See, many times karmis or atheists or those just have no faith in scriptures, they see this picture of Lakshmi ji serving the lotus feet of the Lord, massaging his lotus feet. And they always question, they always have this question, why Lakshmi is always massaging his lotus feet. But they don't understand her real position is at the chest or near the heart of the Lord. As Shri Vatsa, she's always there. But out of her love for Lord Vishnu, she wants to serve him. What is wrong with that? But those who don't have the right knowledge, or those who don't want to take the knowledge from the proper sources, they always question this. And second question is always, why Sita had to go through that fire testing when Ram did not accept her after the war? They don't understand. They don't know the real purpose, real reason behind it. But they'll always question. So Prabhupada again and again is saying the wife, beloved wife, should be protected by her husband, and she's therefore called Ardhangini. And here Prabhupada did mention about the body, half, but also other places Prabhupada has mentioned that whatever spiritual practices husband does, wife gets 50% of that karma automatically, without doing anything, just because she has been accepted by that husband in a ritualistic ceremony as wife, as Ardhangini. So she has full claim and she gets it, 50% of that spiritual activities, so pious activities. She gets automatically. So all the husbands, they should chant at least 32 rounds. Then they'll get the benefit of 16 rounds. Otherwise, 16 are gone already. Or if you're chanting 16, 8 are gone. No. That's a different math. So this is what Prabhupada said, the home should be a place for devotional service and the wife should be chaste and accepted by a ritualistic ceremony. Naraduvacha Puranjana Swa Mahishim Nirikshyavadhutam Bhuvi Tat Sangon Mathita Jnano Vekla Vayam Paramam Yayo. The great sage Narad continued, my dear King Prachin Barahi, as soon as King Puranjan saw his queen lying on the ground, appearing like a mendicant, he immediately became bewildered. In this verse, the word avadhutam is especially significant, for it refers to a mendicant who does not take care of his body. Since the queen was lying on the ground without bedding and proper dress, King Puranjan became very much aggrieved. In other words, he repented that he had neglected his intelligence and had engaged himself in the forest in killing animals. In other words, when one's good intelligence is separated or neglected, he fully engages in sinful activities. Due to neglecting one's good intelligence or Krishna consciousness, one becomes bewildered and engages in sinful activities. Upon realizing this, a man becomes repentant. Such repentance is described by Narottam Das Thakur. Hari Hari Bifale Janam Goaino Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya Janiya Suniya Vishkhaina. Narottam Das Thakur herein says that he repents for having spoiled his human life and knowingly drunk poison. By not being Krishna conscious, one willingly drinks the poison of material life. The purport is that one certainly becomes addicted to sinful activities when he becomes devoid of his good chaste wife, or when he has lost his good sense and does not take to Krishna consciousness. So King Puranjan was disturbed and he was bewildered seeing his queen or seeing his intelligence lying on the ground. Those intelligence means not taking care or not listening to the intelligence. So this is what happens. So that is why we have to get above the mental platform. We have to come to the level where we listen to our intelligence, and especially the spiritual intelligence. Otherwise, the person will be bewildered, just running on the chariot of the mind. Santvayan shlakshणया vacha hृदयन viduyata preyasya स्नेह sarambhalingat amatmani nabhyagat. The king with the grieved mind began to speak to his wife with very pleasing words. Although he was filled with regret and tried to pacify her, he could not see any symptom of anger caused by love within the heart of his beloved wife. The king very much regretted having left his queen and having gone to the forest to execute sinful activities. When a person regrets his sinful activities, the abandoning of Krishna consciousness and good intelligence, his path of deliverance from the path of material clutches is opened. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Parabhavastava Dabodhajata Yavanna Jigyasata Atmatattvam. When a man loses his Krishna consciousness and loses interest in self-realization, he must engage in sinful activities. All one's activities in a life devoid of Krishna consciousness simply lead to defeat and misuse of one's life. Naturally, one who comes to Krishna consciousness regrets his previous sinful activities in the human form. Only by this process can one be delivered from the clutches of nescience or ignorance in materialistic life. So even materially, if one does not get the good counsel from the intelligence and just keeps on with the sinful activities, he cannot enjoy it properly. And what to speak of if one comes to Krishna consciousness, then he definitely regrets his previous sinful activities. And Prabhupada's mercy, we have come to this understanding of how many sinful activities that we know of that we have committed in this lifetime. We don't even know of all the activities that we did previously. in the previous lifetimes. And even after coming to this path of bhakti, because of our sanskaras, our inclinations, we still commit sinful activities. But but now we regret, we repent, and we make promise that I'll not commit these activities again. Krishna is very, very merciful. He accepts us. He still accepts. Okay, that's okay. Many times people ask this question that is God, doesn't he know what activities you have done and why he doesn't punish you and why he is forgiving you? Because God is made of mercy only. Just like Father, even if the Son has committed such a big sin, if he comes, oh Father, please forgive me, he will. Immediately he will forgive because of the love for his Son. And we all are Krishna's children. And Krishna loves us to the extent that he is more eager to take us back home, back to Godhead, than we are eager to go. So, in that eagerness, in that frame of mind, he forgives us. And he says, okay, I'll just still take you back. Just forget everything that you have done. And that is Krishna, Sarva Dharman Paritaja Mam Ekam Charanam. Our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful. Just chant. Nityanand Prabhu is even more merciful. He said, don't even chant the names of Krishna. Chant the names of Gauranga. Bhaja Gauranga, Kah Gauranga, La Gauranga, Namre. And Nityanand Prabhu runs after a person who's not chanting. He is still making him chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at least waits for a person to come to him and chant. Nityanand Prabhu runs after a person, doesn't want to chant, makes him chant the names of Gauranga and then gives him his whole mercy. Nityanand Prabhu preached in Odisha and Bengal. Srila Prabhupada is even more merciful. He said, forget about only Odisha and Bengal. Let me go all over the world and make people chant. Those who have never even heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name or Nityanand Prabhu's name. For you today and for me tomorrow is Prabhupada's disappearance day. So we should read about Prabhupada. We should just take anything about Prabhupada and try to know more about Prabhupada. What did he do? How did he do this? Here in America, it is still so difficult to preach. It is very, very difficult. People are really in the mode of passion and ignorance. And in that association, even devotees fall into that trap. And Prabhupada in that, and at that time when the hippie movement was so strong, he was preaching, he was converting people into Krishna conscious. He was empowering them, and they were empowered, and they were preaching more and more all over the world, not just America. America was booming at that time in terms of Krishna consciousness. Temples were opening, books were being distributed, devotees were being made, money was being collected. So many things were going on. Then America, first America, then Canada, then Europe, London, and then full Europe. And then slowly it went to India, and then Russia, and Japan, and South America, and Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, so many places. It's completely unimaginable what Prabhupada did. And it didn't happen like in 1,000 years ago or something. We can say, oh, it must have happened. It just happened. ISKCON was registered in 1966 only, not too long ago. It's just unimaginable. That's all. But this is mercy of a pure devotee. He can do more because of the empowerment by Krishna. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so you all have a safe day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Jai
Jai
Shri